So my name is Sai Kishore and I'm having an experience of 7+ years with your Power BI, Azure, SQL, all the analytics stuff. So here at Analytics Pro, we provide trainings on Power BI, Microsoft Azure, and SQL. So I'm also sharing my screen. I believe you are able to look at it. All right. So the kind of the training structure we have designed is a 30 days of course duration, in which on bi-weekly we will have the training in a way like, the week one is all about your introduction to your Power BI, your Power BI desktop tour. In week two, we discuss about your Power BI data connections, Power Query Editor. And in your week three, we discuss about your Power BI visualizations and data modeling within your Power BI. Coming to your week four, we talk about your Power BI DAX and your service accounts. So we have a very good, robust training structure where we have ensured to implement each and every module which covers up your Power BI training related stuff. Now, if at all you're looking into what's expected in the course which we are providing is, now we had three different phases for it. Within your initial phase, we discuss about I in detail Power BI features and then explanation. Meaning, what happens when you click on this share button? What happens when you click on this comments button? And so on. So each and every button, each and every functionality, I in details will be explained to you guys in both in your Power BI and your service accounts. We show you four different kind of data connections and not just the four. We have also increased another data connection we made it five. It's no longer four. We will show you five different kind of data connections. Advanced Power Query Editor. All these three aspects will come into your initial phase. Coming to your mid phases, we have data visualization types, visualization formatting options, DAX computations, reports, dashboards, buildings, and Power BI services. When you're talking about your closure phases, we help you with multiple real-time projects, user authorization matrix documentation, SRS, software requirement specification documentation, and CI document, which is your company identity documentation walkthroughs. We help you with your interview questions. We help you with profile building and interview prepping as well. So choosing your Power BI is initial analyst, consultant, senior consultant, developer, manager, and an architect levels. Now, I am a Power BI developer. So if you're choosing this as your career option, this is where you start with. So before we say, like, what is the minimum knowledge you need to have when you are joining in a Power BI? Now let's talk about it. What is the prerequisite that you need to have if you would like to become a Power BI developer or Power BI analyst? So the minimum prerequisite is at least you know how to handle a computer. At least you know the basic knowledge of how this all the internet stuff works. Basic knowledge like your Google Drive, how to upload anything in your Google Drive, how to share that document with another Gmail users in your Google Drive. It's basic stuff, right? Excel, anything if you have used in your Excel, like summing at least two different rows, uh, trying to have any kind of transformation in your tables using your Excel, like you delete a column, you add a row, inserting a column, inserting a row, all this stuff, right? It's basic things anyways. So these are the only prerequisites we ask anyone to have that understanding. So even if they don't have these small idea behind what it is all about, but still you should be able to get into this if you are a good, fast learner. Now let's talk about the certification programs. Yes, if you are choosing Power BI as a career option, now you have a certification program which is designed by Microsoft for this tool, because this tool has been designed by Microsoft. Now let's talk about what exactly a Power BI is. What is this used for? And what were the people in the entire world were doing before they have this tool Power BI? So there should be some start, isn't it? What is that they were doing? So your Power BI is a cloud-based business analysis and intelligence service tool provided by Microsoft. Whenever we are trying to learn any tool, we always need to understand, the tool is coming from a very big tech giant, Microsoft, and they will just not let it go so easily. Correct. Now, even if at all you're looking at it, it's a PowerPoint. You know how long the PowerPoint has been stayed, right? It's been in the market since years, and now it's in the cloud as well. So it depends that this tool, which is being developed by Microsoft, now which is called as a Power BI, will stay in the market for another 10 to 20 years as well. There's no concerns about it at all. Why? Sai, on what basis can you say that this tool can exist within the next 10 to 20 years of time? I have a very good valid reason on why I think that this tool can stay quite longer than the other tools in the market. Now, this Power BI tool designed by Microsoft, what they used to do earlier is they had MSBI, which is Microsoft Business Intelligence, MSBI. So now that has been divided into three different types: SSIS, SSAS, and SSRS. SSIS, SQL Server. All right, yeah, SQL Server Integration Services, SQL Server Analysis Services, and your SQL Server Reporting Services as your SSRS. So if at all you're looking at your SSIS and SSAS, now that has been moved into cloud, which is now Azure. Now, what about the SSRS, which is your SQL Server Reporting Services? Now, that is where they used to make the reports. Now, if at all you're talking about your SQL Server Reporting Services, the advanced version of your Excel and the integration of your SSRS into this as a combination is now called as a Power BI. So by using this tool, we will create reports, dashboards, tiles. We will share them with multiple users. We understand where the company is after they have started productions. Now let us take a small example. We always wanted to compare, right? Now, how many of you all watch this Big Boss shows and all? So now you see that there is being a TRP, there is being an audience poll and all such things, right? So let's talk in that same fashion. Now it's been like 5 seasons right now in Telugu version. Whenever you see the final episode of your season will always have the highest TRPs. It is exceeding your previous year's last episode TRP. But how are we looking at it? So there is a number. So they call them as television rating programs. So they give some number towards it, which is 10, 5. The least is like 5, 10 is like highest, 18 highest, and so on. So when you're trying to compare it with your previous year, you understand how many new viewers you were able to grab to the show. Now that is a win-win, correct? If the number of the viewers has decreased, which means that your show is not doing that great when compared to the last year. So that comparison, which you are making it with respect to your previous years, with previous time frames, which is what we call it as a time intelligence. You're trying to compare it with your previous time to understand where are you progressing. Now that is a report. You're making a report with all the data you have. Now, what has to be done in order to increase such kind of stuff? So now that is how they will think about it, right? If that is doing good, they have done something good. If the TRP is worst, they knew that, the something is being not working properly in the way it used to last year. Now that is how the calculations has to be with respect to uh, your knowledge, if your understanding of a business. The same thing you can also try to understand it with respect to your salaries. Or once you started working in an organization, what is your package, what is your salary? If you try to compare it with others, what is that? If at all you try to compare yourself after the 5 years from where you have started, what is your growth? What is the percentage of growth which has been increased with respect to your salary, wages? Now what are the different kind of all the elements coming in that picture? Now that is all about your understanding. You know it only by making a report. Now this Power BI is an entire suite. Now this has business and analytics services. It has an intelligence capabilities. It can have some interactive data visualizations, data evaluations, data analysis, shareable reports, dashboard, and apps. If these words are confusing you, just try to understand that a lot of things are possible with respect to your Power BI. Don't worry about it. You will eventually get into all these words as we progress. You can ask me, Sai, why Power BI? We have a lot of other tools in the market, right? But why Power BI? That comparison with other tools is also I will explain you. But before that, Power BI can do a lot more than what the other people are working on already. It can have some good real-time analysis. For example, your share market. You don't know where the bar will end up in the next minute. And you see that the bar is moving in front of you. It might go up, it might go down, it might stay stable. It's all about the real-time analysis you're looking at. Now that's an example. Custom visualizations. Now let us talk it in a very simplistic way so that it always stays in your head. What you have purchased a mobile. Now there are few default apps which has been published to you, correct? Now they gave you a calculator app, they gave you a Gmail app and so on. But you still went to the Play Store and you have downloaded few more apps. Why did you do that? Because those are the apps which you think that they are required. You have some usability towards those apps and you required them the most. So what do you do at that point of time is like you install them. So that is what a custom app is. That is not a default app in your phone. In a similar format, there are few default visualizations in your Power BI. And if there are another visualizations which you would like to bring from the app source, now that will become your custom visualization. See, quick insights. Now, what are these quick insights? You have a data, but you don't know how to create a report or how to create a visual out of it. So we'll just provide them the data to the service account and it will throw us the quick insights to that. Okay, let's talk it with respect to an example then. You have a battery information in your mobile, right? Battery information. So you know the battery performance, what happens after it's getting charged and how is like it is getting discharged. Now that's a good graph you are looking at. Now that is a quick insight. If you don't have a graph, you would have never understood about it. If it only throws you the number at that particular moment, you have to remember the number of the previous minute and you need to compare like if it's going good or worse. Now that's a quick insight, right? Data gateways. Now this is like a medium in between both the platforms. Uh, The reason why I tell you more examples is so that you can go back and remember the same stuff which is relating to it. Now, let us talk about the data gateways here. See, you have your Facebook application or your Instagram. You wanted to post a picture in one of the social media app. Can any one of you tell me, can you post a picture without using internet connection in your social media app?
No.
Obviously, no.
Yes, that's correct. Obviously, no. So in a similar format, I want you guys to think in a fashion like your social media app is a report which you have published in the cloud and your phone and your picture is the data. Now that is your data, right? Now your internet connection is your data gateway. So in order to keep my report, which is my app, correct? In the example, which is app. So in order to keep my report up to date with the latest data, you need to have a data gateway. See, it's as simple as that. You have a good data gateway, you always keep your report updated so that you always look at the right data in the right time. It doesn't matter if at all you're looking to a report of 10 days or 15 days back, correct? You can't change the things. You can't get it any more better if you're not looking at the current data. You don't know your progress. So that is why we need the data gateways. Adding to that, natural language querying. This is like your iPhone Siri and your Google. Um, if anyone has unmuted themselves, if they have any questions for me, please do. If not, please you can mute yourself. Yeah. So natural language querying is just like your Siri and your Android assistant. You ask it and it will respond to you back. You'll ask it like, what's today's weather? It will respond to you back. You know, it is so and so degrees Celsius or Fahrenheit or whatever it is. Correct. In a similar fashion, if you ask, what is the sum of my sales by last month, by your previous month, it will tell you your sales amount. So that is a natural language querying. That is possible in Power BI. Yes, you heard it right. It's possible. Easy to use and access. Yes, it's absolutely easy to use. Just like you are looking at your PowerPoint presentation. See home, ribbon, insert, draw, design templates, and also stuff. It's quite easy. Multiple source connections. Now, let's talk about the data sources right now. Now, I said that you have a picture, right? Now you will upload that. No, that's a picture. Now it's in a JPG format. So you have different kind of file formats in your um, photos or whatever the different kind of the data is, right? Now in the same fashion, you have different kind of data sources available in the market. For example, your Excel. For example, your Notepad. For example, your cloud data. For example, your SQL Server database. So with these kind of data sources being available in the market, you can connect to almost more than 100 plus data sources to your Power BI just to create reports, right? Next, it's the cheapest inexpensive solution. So when you compare it with your competitors, the prices are very less when you compare to your Power BI. So companies are obviously opting for it. Interactive visualization dashboards. So let's talk about the interactive visualization dashboard. Now, how many of you all have tried to go back and search the COVID status situation within your India or any other country or states? You'll just go to any website, you'll go back and click on the drop down, you will click on your Andhra Pradesh or Telangana, you'll just click on it and you will see the visualizations, the dashboards in that particular website will get filtered with respect to that particular state. So what is it? Why is it happening? So you are applying a filter over there, and as soon as you change it, every visualization will change, right? Now that is an interactive visualization dashboards. Now you click on something, you wanted it to change the visualization with respect to it, it's interactive visualizations. All right. Now data sharing and collaboration. Good. Now let's talk about your data sharing stuff. What if you have data sharing in this fashion? Let us suppose now you have uploaded a document in a Google Drive and someone has asked you to share that file with them as well. But what you will do, you'll just go back to your Google Drive, you will share it with his email address and he will be able to access the document which you have already shared, correct? So in a similar fashion, in a data set which you have tried to build a report on, that data set can also be shared with others so that they can create their own reports as well. Now that is also possible. All right. So with this, you should have literally understood a lot about Power BI right now, right? So let's see a little images with respect to your Power BI, how it looks. Not very in a very boxed image, but that's fine. Now there are three main platforms within your Power BI: Power BI Desktop, Power BI Service, and your Power BI Mobile. Now, when you're talking about your Power BI Desktop, this is a free application provided by Microsoft. If you have a laptop or a desktop or a virtual machine, you can go back and download this from Microsoft and install it for free. It doesn't cost you a single penny. And this is how it looks. This is your Power BI desktop file. So once you have your report ready, you made your report in your Power BI desktop file, you have to publish it into a cloud, right? So you click on this publish button and then you get it to your Power BI service. Just like you have a document made in your desktop, a Microsoft Word document, and then you go back and publish it into OneDrive or your Google Drive. So that's how you will publish it. And within the cloud, which is the Power BI service, you will be able to see the report which you have created from your desktop. The same report will be seen in your cloud, which is your Power BI service. Now, this is a software as a service tool. And from there, we can also access the same report which has been published in your Power BI service account to your mobile as well. Just like your Google Drive app, where you have it even in your mobile as well. You can't just have one singular lookalike app, even from your web app and your phone, right? There will be always a difference. You can't just view it in the same fashion. Web app is different. Your phone app is different. Correct? So you will see the same report being published in your service account and the same report being viewed to your mobile from the service account as well. All right. Now this is about your Power BI platforms, Power BI desktop, service, and your mobile. We discuss about all these three. Yes, you heard it right. We discuss about the Power BI desktop. We discuss about the service account, and we also show you how to create the same report in your mobile version as well. All right. Now coming to your version types, we understood that we have a desktop, service account, and a mobile apps, right? The first three. Good. What about your Power BI gateway, which is the fourth one? Yes, you heard it right. It's a gateway. If you just remember, we spoke about the data gateway, which is just like acting like your internet connection with that social media app example, which we discussed. The same Power BI gateway is a software that is required to access the data situated in an on-premises network and will this gateway will act as a gatekeeper for the on-premises data source. I said right, it's like an internet connection so that it always keeps you updated depending upon your data source data. And then your Power BI embedded. Now what is this Power BI embedded is? In the earlier example, we spoke about a COVID website where you filter it, right? But how a report is being published in a website? Have you ever thought about it? No, that is where this embedded will come into picture. Now, once we create a report and publish it in the service account, we can generate embedded codes where we use this code and add it in the website. So they will be able to access the same report even from any website as well. Now, that is your embedded stuff. So that is what it says. Developers quickly embedded visuals, reports, and dashboards into an application, which means your web application. And then we have a report server. Now, what is this report server, Sai? We haven't heard about it earlier, right? No, we heard about it. Remember earlier I spoke about MSBI where it is like converted into three different parts: SSIS, AS, and RS, right? SSRS, SQL Server Reporting Services. Now this is an upgraded version of it, Power BI Report Server. Okay, so you said that it's like almost gone, like it's like been converted into the Power BI and stuff, right? Yes, that's correct. But this Power BI report server, when we already have this cloud service, why do we have a report server? Is your cloud is already maintaining all the reports which we published, right? Then why do we need the Power BI report server? Have you thought about it? So this report server is eventually is for those clients who do not wanted to share those reports in cloud. Correct, right? You don't want to share your personal information to cloud. You don't want to store your PAN card in any Google Clouds. You don't want to store any of your Aadhaar card in your Google Drives because you don't know the security, right? It's always a concern, correct? That is why you have a report server. When you have a report server, it stays within you, meaning take a financial sector, any bankings. They don't want to publish it. It's a very confidential information. They cannot have that kind of the data being uploaded in a cloud. Despite they say that they have 100% security, they wouldn't do it. They would still follow the old way of having those bulky servers being maintaining in their organizations located in US or anywhere else and having all the AC coming down from the roof and keeping them cool. Correct? So those report servers will be still accessible by using this Power BI, and the financial institutions are the ones who are the top priority people who will be using this in their organization, who thinks that they want to keep their data safe. Coming to this visuals marketplace, we spoke about your Android store and app store, right? Where you go back and download whatever the kind of the applications you want. Similar to that, I can download any of the visualizations I want. So let us suppose these are the only default ones. See, stacked bar chart, stacked column chart, donut chart, pie chart, cards, map visualizations, a lot of visualizations. These are the only default ones. But this visualization, if at all you're looking at, this is a chord visualization. This chord visualization is not available under your visualization options. Okay, Sai, then what can we do? Not to worry. We can go back and bring such kind of visualizations from your marketplace. Your problem solved. Then let's talk about your components. Now, this components is like your heart, kidney, liver, all the sense organs, all those kind of stuff which will relate to the body, right? So that is how your components are as well. How this Power BI is having in 8 different kind of components to keep it running. Correct? It has to keep them running, right? I want you all to pay a very close attention here because this is an interview question. They'll ask you what are the components of your Power BI. Then you will say, hey, yes, Saya has already told me Power Pivot, Power Query, Power View, Power Map, Power BI Service, Power BI Gateway, Data Catalog, Power BI Q&A. And then they will ask you to explain. "Oh, okay, why don't you explain all the components?" And then you will say, hey, Saya didn't say that. Don't worry, I'll tell you. Now your Power Pivot is the first component we will discuss about, and this is for your modeling purpose. For any table, we have to do the modeling. Modeling like to provide a relationship between two different tables using their primary keys is your modeling. We will discuss everything in detail. Don't worry. Don't panic. When I say modeling, okay, maybe Sai doesn't explain it. Know what have to do? What are we supposed to do? Don't panic. Everything which is related to your Power BI is anyways covered. Then your Power Query. We perform transformations in your Power Query. So why do we need to do transformations? Can we just use the data as is? You just can't do that, right? Raw data can be so bad, it might require transformations. One example, let us suppose they're trying to give you a kind of the data which has been entered manually. By one data entry guy, he has just entered manually all the stuff. At times he has entered the name as a capital letters, as a case sensitive for the first letter, and then immediately he dropped doing that. So it's bad, right? It's not in a good format. You have to transform it in such a fashion that everything looks good, so clean, so that we are giving that good experience to the users who are viewing this report. Correct? So every data would require transformation. So that is why we need Power Query to make the transformations. Power View. Power View is pretty simple. This is your report view. This is where you are looking at your reports, right? And the component which is, the one which is lying in the back end of this Power BI to show these visualizations and all such stuff is your Power View. Power Map. To use these map visualizations, we have a Power Map component running in the backend. Power BI service account. To publish any, create a report to your service account, right? So you need a service, Power BI service for service account. Gateway. You connect a data to your Power BI desktop. You create a report. You publish it back to your Power BI service. So you don't again go back to your desktop, right? So this service account should directly hit the data source from where it is coming from. So we use a gateway, correct? As we discussed with that example of internet connection. So this gateway will use to connect it with the data source and then update the visualizations in your Power BI service account. It's as simple as that. Then your data catalogs. I said, right, reusing the same data, the transformed data, the transformable data multiple times, nothing but your data catalog. Meaning, I created a data set. I made a lot of transformations to that data set. And I give that data set to all of you, to each one of you. And now I say that please use this data set to create your own reports. Correct? So you will do it. So reusing the data set multiple times to create reports, not just that, to create multiple tables within the same report as well. It's data catalogs, reusability. Power BI Q&A. This spoke about this, right? Q&A. You go back and ask any question towards your Power BI and it will respond to you. What is the sum of sales in previous year? It will respond to you, right? So these are the 8 components which are lying behind your Power BI to run. So we'll pause here for a minute to see if you have any questions and then we'll proceed. All right. So if you don't have any question as of now, if you would like to ask me, just get it ready in my next ask. All right. So let's talk about the architecture now. So everything will require an architecture, right? To keep it running. So we have hundreds of data sources. I spoke about it, right? Salesforce, SharePoint, Big Data, Hadoop, Azure, and your flat files. A lot of other data sources as well. Now you connect these data sources to your Power BI desktop to create reports and you publish them to your Power BI service account. And once you publish them to your service accounts, we use the Power BI gateway to always keep it updated with the latest data so that my report is always has the latest data. Then I should be able to access this Power BI service, right? From where I've been able to access, I can use it from web app, I can use it from Power BI mobile app, and I can also use it from your iOS app or Android apps from your tablets as well. So this is the basic default architecture any organization must follow. There is no other way that they can go back and try to connect it directly to your service accounts. Correct. They have to be something, right? The medium, the way it works, it's always the same. Now coming to your building blocks. Now we have 5 of those building blocks. Trust me, this is also an interview question. So we'll say report, visualizations, data sets, dashboards, tiles. So these are our building blocks of Power BI. What is a report? See, in my Power BI desktop file, you can see, right, retail analysis sample PBIX arches. Now, this is a report. This is one report. One report contains multiple pages. In each page, it can contain multiple visualizations just like this. So this is an overview page. I can see multiple visualizations here, right? This is a scatter chart. This is a clustered bar charts. Now this is a map visualization. This is a donut chart. Now these are the two cards. Now if we are able to check district monthly sales and new stores pages, we would have find even more visualizations, right? So this entire page, entire document kind of thing which you are looking at. No, this is nothing but your one PBIX file. When you save any report of your Power BI, it will save it in a Power BIX file, PBIX file. Now this PBIX file is one report. Okay, so we understood what a report is like. You can create multiple pages, multiple visualizations are available to create a report. The report could be on anything. It could be a sales report, it could be a finance report, it could be a HR report, it could be a profitable report, whatever the kind of the report is, right? Yeah, that's correct. Visualizations. Next building block, visualizations. So in order to create a report, we have to add multiple visualizations which talks about the data, right? See this map visualization, this talks about that from, a lot of sales are coming from a particular region in America, right? This sales overview says that, this blue line is greater than the dark line, correct? So these are all your visualizations. See, a lot of visualizations. Then comes your data sets. The data set which is used to create a report so that we can have a visualizations added to any page. That is your data set. You're trying to connect a SQL. You try to connect an Excel file. You are trying to connect an CSV file, a flat file. And then you make a lot of transformations to it and create one final data set, which is used to create a report. Now that is a data set. So a data set is connecting from multiple data sources, making transformation on those data sources, and making a final version of it is a data set where it holds all the data required for the report. Next, dashboards. Now your dashboard is similar to like your notice board in your college times. What do they do in your notice boards? They go back and print something in an A4 size paper where your HOD signs on it. They say that you have a cultural fest coming up and your HOD signs on that. You take that paper, you go back to your notice board and you see that has been pinned on it by the attender. You go read it, you understand it, and then you go off. What happened exactly is the important news which has to be looked at by everyone is pinned in that notice board. Now that notice board is your dashboard. And what are we pinning? We are pinning the important visualizations there. And the important visualizations after we pin on the dashboard will become a tile. So that A4 size paper which is signed by or HOD is now a tile. Now that is a building block. So these are the building blocks. Reports where you create reports, visualizations, the multiple visualizations you use to create a report. The data set, the underlying data set in a report where you connect to from different sources. And once you create a report and everything is good, you wanted to pin a particular visualization on a dashboard so that everyone is looking at it right away because that is so important. And the one which you have pinned is now nothing but a tile. See, it's all related and all good and all simple. Now let's talk about your Power BI desktop and your service. I always said we have platforms, right? Power BI desktop, service, mobile apps, and so on. So as I said, Power BI desktop is a free tool. Now Power BI desktop can be downloaded for free from Microsoft and install it in your laptop or your desktops to create a reports. But your service account is never ever free. If they say that it's free, there are only particular few options which are available, but these are just not sufficient for us to share our report with others. See, if at all you are able to look at it, you are only having the free version coming up to here. But when you talk about your pro account, but when you're talking about your premium account, which is the subscription charges for your service, your pro account can do a lot more than your free account. You can share the report with others, which you cannot do it in your free version. You can have email subscriptions. You can know apps and app workspaces. You can see the usage metrics of the report. You can analyze the same report in an Excel counterpart. You can SharePoint modern web parts as well. Then you can create, publish, and view all the organization content packs within your organization. Now, all these features are very, very, very important if you are looking at. So organizations will go back and take a pro account to maintain these. But when it comes to your premium account, you can have a dedicated node capacity. You can have 100 TB for each capacity is provisioned. Higher refreshing rates are possible. Noisy neighbor isolations are also possible. But this comes with an extra price. We'll also discuss about the pricing of these Power BI Pro account and your premium accounts as well. All right. So we spoke about the data connectors, right? We have 100 plus data connectors which are available. Here they are. You can just look at them, a lot of them. I am pretty sure that most of you all have already know few of these data connectors, like your Azure, maybe your Excel, that is something which definitely everyone would know, your CSV file, which is your flat file, your XML file, your JSON scripts, your folders, your PDFs, and your SharePoints. And coming to your Azure, we have Azure SQL databases. You can connect it for a Cosmos DB. You can connect it for a blob storage. You can connect it for analysis services. The other databases in the market, Hadoop, SAP HANA database, Google BigQuery database, other online services, Salesforce, Azure DevOps, Microsoft Dynamics, Nave, SharePoint, LinkedIn, GitHub. Yes, you can connect to all these sources to create your own reports. Other parts are like your web part. Let us suppose you went to any Wikipedia website, you found a good table over there, you found a good source over there, you wanted to connect that to create a report on top of that data. Yes, that is also possible. So these are multiple Power BI data connectors you have, and there are 100 plus of them. Now let's talk about your competitors right now. Power BI, Tableau, ClickSense, TrueSpot, and Looker. Now these are the competitors for your Power BI. But Power BI stands on top of each of these competitors because it has all the features when compared it with other, and that is why this is the highest adapted reporting tool in the market, and companies are striving to go back and hire people who knows how to work on this reporting tool. So when you're trying to look at it with respect to your Tableau, you cannot have mixed model types in your Tableau. You cannot have the third party data model access in your Tableau. You cannot have open source custom visualizations as well. And the schema which it follows is a flat schema, but Power BI follows a powerful star schema, but this is most advanced and the fastest schema where you can see that your tool works so quick, decreasing the performance issues, correct? When it try to compare itself with ClickSense, you will see it does not have the mixed model types. It does not have the third party access. And the data model is Snowflake. TrueSpot, no, no, knows, few knows. Looker, few nodes here. But when you try to look up these details within Power BI, there's nothing that will stop us. So coming to your market trend, I'm yet to find the 2021 trend, and I'm sure this has been increased a lot. You are exactly looking at what's been happening since 2015 to 2020. Since 2017, Power BI has come into the market. So before that, we already had Tableau and all other reporting tools, but they were like very hard to adapt in the market. But since the launch of the Power BI in 2017, is 6%, 11.11%, 11.25%, 14%, and now it's beyond 20% in the market. And this keeps on increasing because of the number of features which are available in the particular tool. Now I told, right, let's talk about the pricing which related to your Power BI and your service account for pro and premium accounts, right? Now, when you're looking at your Power BI pricing, the free version has few features which are available. But for your pro version, you will find it $9.99 dollars per user per month, which is like $10 per user per month per user. Understand this, underline this, per user, $10. So if your team is like 5 people and you think that you need 5 access of your Power BI to maintain, it's 5 into $10 of burden for your organization. And what about this premium account? This premium is like $5,000 per month. And there is a shorter version of this premium as well. This is not about the users, right? This is like your report server premium. You can have n number of users. That is why it costs far less than $5,000 per month. But what if you want the premium features without having to pay $5,000 per month and somewhere a budget close to this? We also have that Power BI Premium per user per month costs $20 per user per month. And now that is per user. Premium feature contains big data analytics. It is used for big data. It is used for reporting service. It is where we can allocate the capacity. It is where you can scale them. The scalability options are available. Is where you have a lot more control than your pro version. Your pro version is like your shared host. You know, right? There are websites. They are like shared hosts. They are like individual hosts so that it will run quicker, right? So if at all you take a shared hosting, it is the performance issues will be there or there, correct? So and you cannot have a lot more control towards it. You can't scale it to the number of cores, the number of the RAM, the number of CPUs you want to allocate to that. That is not possible, right? Now that same thing will fall over to your pro account. Unlike you don't see that slow, that is for sure. Don't think that when Sai said it, it's like hosting a shared hosting stuff like Power BI Pro is like a shared hosting stuff. It's not like that. It will work quick. Unlike that part, everything is mostly same. And then your premium account, you already know it. You can unlock more capacities and higher limits for your pro users. And a lot is possible because that's how Power BI wanted to deal with things. Now coming to your Power BI desktop, this is just a glimpse of it. This is where we get the data, a report view, data view, relationship views, visualization, publish key, and your Power BI desktop, a GIF file. So I'm clicking on the get data. I am able to see multiple data sources where I'll try to connect them to my data source. This is just a GIF file, a glimpse, which I wanted to show you that a lot more things are possible with respect to your Power BI. All right. So with this, I will stop today's session and I will see if you have any more questions towards me. Because we also have a day two demo session, guys. And we will also catch up with the same meeting link which has been provided to you tomorrow at the same time, 4:30 to 5:30. That is a day two demo session. So if you are listening to it and if you have acknowledged it, if you are okay with it, I want you all to raise your hands in the Teams. It's right up there. If you know how to raise your hand, please do that. Yeah, thank you so much, Arvind. Vinay, thank you so much, Vinay, for acknowledging. Yeah, thank you so much, Nikita. Koneti Ganesh, thank you. Shilpi, thank you. Um, Others, if at all, if you're okay with it, like please do. Sony, yeah, thank you. Yes, thank you so much, Vamshi and Pradeep as well. Yeah, thank you so much, guys. So this recording will also be shared with you all. So please do get back to the same contact where you have received your requests. All right. This email invites as well so that you can get your demo link as well. So please do join for the day two demo where we will discuss even further details coming to the other stuff within the same. All right. Thank you so much for joining in this beautiful evening. Have a great day and thank you guys. Bye.